Hi, so today I'm going to be talking about drawing directly with ink versus drawing with pencil and then inking. Hi, my name is Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 25 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So there was a question for me from a patron, and it goes something like this. Hey Luis, if you're still taking questions for videos, I have one. I've been reading Drawn to Life and Creative License. So this is the book, one of the books that he's talking about, Creative License. And if you can see that it's got kind of like ink drawings in here, okay? And they really advocate pen drawing versus pencil drawing. In the past, I've mostly done pencil sketching to get to an ink drawing. Drawing straight to ink is tough for me. Do you sketch in ink often? Do you switch back and forth? What, in your opinion, is the benefit of pen and ink drawing versus pencil underdrawing plus final ink layer? Okay. So the first question, do I sketch in ink often? Absolutely. 100%. I almost only sketch in ink. So I've got my sketchbook here, and for 90, let me see. Let me. So when I'm doing anything, this is. So when I'm doing anything, I've got this. You know, here's my sketches here. I've got ink drawings here. I got more ink drawings here. So all of these things are ink drawings, and you can see that there is some underdrawing in here. There is some, but and it's very, very sketchy. You could see very clearly that I'm not precise when drawing in ink. Some more ink drawings. Okay, so yes, absolutely, 100%. I'm always drawing in ink. Just about everything I'm doing is drawn in ink. So that isn't to say, see, but then here I drew with pencil first, and then I drew with a brush pen, and I was doing some ink lines here, okay? Some final drawing. So there is some pencil with ink. So do I switch? So that answers the question, do I switch back and forth? Absolutely. See, here I am drawing with pencil first and then inking, okay? So do you switch back? And what, in your opinion, is the benefit of pen and ink drawing versus pencil underdrawing and final ink layer? Well, the benefit is right here, very clearly. One is for sketching, and the other is for more final drawing. So whenever I want to do a much more final looking piece of work, that's when I do a pencil underdrawing and a final piece. So by the way, here's more pencil pen and ink drawings. Here's pen, and you can see the underdrawings. You can see some of the shapes and things like that. So when it comes to sketching, it's sketching. You're not trying to draw a final piece. You are allowed to mess up. Drawing in ink is much more freeing because there is more of a chance to just screw up and mess up, and you can't be precious with it because you can't erase. Here's some zoo drawings. But when you do mess up, you have the option of either using a Post-it to fix what you don't like, or like I did it with this drawing here, here, this bottom drawing here in the corner, this one here, she was I drew her hair way too big. So what I did was I just really hard scratched it out, and then what's left is the hair shape that I actually wanted. So you're gonna mess up, and it's okay. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to draw in pencil. But what's the difference? What's the difference between drawing in pencil drawing, and then drawing with an underdrawing and then doing the ink? Well, for starters, whenever you're drawing something in ink, it's going to be permanent. It's not going to smudge. You draw in ink, and it's there forever, which is great. That's what you want. You want something. So when you're drawing in ink, especially when you're sketching, and this is the key. When you are sketching, ink is great for sketching, because sketching is not a final drawing. Sketching is a sketch. Sketching, even if it looks great and you like the way it looks, it's still a sketch. It's not a final piece. You're not deliberately trying to do a final finished piece. It's a sketch. So when you use ink, it gives you the freedom to know that whatever you're going to do, you can't take it back, you can't draw, you can't erase the line. You're going to have to go over it or sketch around it or redraw it, and it's because of the nature of the ink. You cannot erase it. Okay, so having said all of that, the pen that I use compared to the pen that he uses is completely different. Okay, he's using a liner pen. He's using one of these crazy, he's like using a micron pen. I don't have one here. And those things I try to avoid. I use them for inking. I use them for a final ink line. I like liner pens for that. I don't like gel pens to sketch with, for the exact same reason that I don't like liner pens. And that is because liner pens and gel pens both have no give. By which I mean they don't let you ease into the ink. My favorite kinds of pens to draw with are regular crappy ballpoint pens, the kinds that you used when you were in junior high and high school. These writing pens, the cheaper the better, right? As long as the ink flows, that's what you want. Why? Because these things work like pencils. They feel like pencils. When you want a light line, you could softly put the line in. When you want a dark line, you just press harder. If you want an even darker line, you go over it like a pencil. Like you go, and then you get darker and darker and then lighter and lighter as you ease off of it. It works like a pencil, except it's permanent. So you get a lot of variety in the line, variety in the thickness, in the not the thickness, but the value of the line that you put down. I love ballpoint pens. I love them so much that I even bought myself fancy schmancy multicolored pen. This is actually my sketchbook pen. It goes right in here, and now I got my sketchbook pen, and now I got multiple colors, and I've been using it. This is a recent purchase. I just got it for a very specific type of ink drawings that I want to do, but having multiple colors just gives me even more options for sketching. So the entire idea of sketching is that it's a sketch. It's not a final drawing. It's not a final piece. You're not, it gives you the freedom to mess up. It gives you permission to mess up. You can draw something in pen, and because it didn't come out, you have to start over on another drawing. And if that's not coming out, you start over on another drawing. You're not sitting down like with a pencil and trying to be perfect with everything that you draw. That's not the point of sketching. Sketching is not about being perfect. It's about drawing and dealing with what happens. And if you want, like if you have a pen like the one that I've just like this multicolored pen, then you can sort of use it a little bit like you would an underdrawing within a final drawing. So you say you like okay. So I drew a picture here, a drawing, and I did a line, an underdrawing here. The underdrawing here is in orange. So I drew the orange head shape here. You could clearly see that it's an orange head head shape. And then I went in with the black line, with the black ink, and then I did a more final line on with the black ink. And even then, see how I messed up here? You could see that there's a line here where I originally thought I was going to put the shoulders, and then I decided against it. So I moved I gave her more of a neck, and I moved the shoulder down here, and this is where I ended up. But here's the messed up line. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. It's a sketch. It was an experiment. I was just messing around. It's okay. That's what ink is all about. It's just about being forgiving. It's about just sketching what happens, what comes out. It's about not being perfect. It's about just having fun and sketching. And my method of sketching is different than this person's method of sketching. His method of sketching is much more of a contour thing. Mine tends to be a little bit about placing the shapes in the right spots and then going in and then solidifying what I'm going to want. So there is underdrawing in my pen sketches, but because I'm using a ballpoint pen, I could lightly draw all the guides, and then I could go in and be a little bit more precise later. With a liner pen or a gel pen, what you end up with is artwork that is much more like this, where it's a little bit more out of control, and it's a little bit more you don't know what you're gonna get, kind of wonky. And you know what? That's great. It's okay. It's okay to be. I don't know if this is the artist's artwork here. But here, see the bottles. See how the bottles are very imprecise and kind of warped. But doesn't it give it character? And then see this guitar. This guitar isn't a great drawing of a guitar. It's again kind of weird and wonky and warped, and that's what happens when you're drawing with a liner pen. It's just gonna. There's nowhere to run. You're just gonna draw. But there's something very. There's so much character in that drawing. Just because it's a little bit warped and wonky and a little bit, there's something very charming about it. I just love how it's just kind of crazy, like it's not perfect, but you know what it is, and it's nice. But he's doing much more of a contour kind of a thing. That's not what I do. I don't do contour drawings. So here's another. See, so these are all contour kind of drawings, and this is the kind of drawings that you sometimes get when you're doing liner pen, unless you are extremely good, like somebody like Kim Jung-gi, who could basically just use a brush pen and come out with something amazing, or Mobius was just like that too. He would just come up with some amazing artwork with something like a liner pen or a gel pen or whatever it is, and they're much more precise. But it's not where I want to go right now. Eventually, I'll probably start using them just for fun because there's a certain look to them, but really, ballpoint pens are what I sketch with. Sketching. So I just wanted to reinforce the difference. Because the question seems, what in your opinion is the benefit of pen and ink drawing versus pencil underdrawings plus final ink layer? The benefit is very, very simple. One is for sketching, the other one is for final drawing. I did an underdrawing with a pencil before I did these final drawings. Let me see. Here too, I did an underdrawing with a pencil, and you can see the pencil drawings right over here. And then, then I did a final drawing with the ink. The difference between inking, oh, and here's more. The difference between inking with a pencil, I mean with a pen, with ink, directly with ink, the difference is that one is for sketching and one is for much more final artwork. Okay, so I did underdrawings for all of these. All of them had pencil drawings underneath. That's why you see a little bit of red. And then I did a final ink drawing on for these. So one is for sketching, one is for final drawing. Sketching, final drawing. Okay, so that's the difference. That's the biggest difference. That is the reason why you should use ink when drawing, for sketching and just having fun and knowing that you're going to mess up and giving you permission to mess up. And then the other one is when you're doing more precise final art. Okay, you can, if you're like Kim Jung-gi, have it be both. But for the most part, you're just sketching. The ink drawing, sketching directly with ink, is mostly used just for sketching. Okay, so that's what I would say about that, answering your question. And like I said, there are plenty of amazing artists that just here's the ink, and they're done. You know, they do final artwork straight with a brush pen because they're doing all the construction in their head and all that good stuff. That's fine. They could do that, and they're brilliant. For the most part, you're sketching with a pen. Any kind of ink drawing you're doing is just for sketching. And the final drawing, you take a little bit more time. You take the steps to do the final ink drawing that way. Okay, so that's the answer to your questions. Hopefully that answers your questions, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye.